Good afternoon, happy Sunday, wonderful souls. Back today with you, Arlene and Alfonso,
Hi
bringing
everyone.
you again a story from Politically Correct Bedtime Story. And I also wanted to thank my friend Angela for lending me this book so we can bring these beautiful stories to you.
Shout out to Angela.
Shout out to Angela. So, the story today is Rumpelstiltskin, one of Alfonso and my favorites. I hope you're ready and enjoy the journey. Long
Okay.
ago, in a kingdom, mi fai come- long ago, in a kingdom far away, there lived a miller who was very economically disadvantaged. This miller shared his humble dwelling with his only daughter, an independent young woman named Esmeralda. Now, the miller was very ashamed of his poverty, rather than angry at the economic system that had marginalized him, and was always searching for a way to get rich quick.
Uh, if only I could get my daughter to marry a rich man.
He mused in a sexist and archaic way.
She'll be fulfilled, and I'll never have to work another day of my life.
To this shabby end, he had an inspiration. He would start a rumor that his daughter was able to spin common barnyard straw into pure gold. With this untruth, he would be able to attract the attention of many rich men and marry off Esmeralda. The rumor spread through the kingdom in a manner that just happened to be like wildfire and soon reached the prince. As greedy and gullible as most men of his station, he believed the rumor and invited Esmeralda to his castle for a May Day festival. But when she arrived, he had her thrown into the dungeon filled with straw and ordered her to spin it into gold. Locked in the dungeon, fearing for her life, Esmeralda sat on the floor and wept. Never had the exploitativeness of this patriarchy been made so apparent to her. As she cried, a diminutive man in a funny hat appeared in the dungeon.
Why are you crying, my dear?
He asked. Esmeralda was startled, but answered him. The prince has ordered me to spin all this straw into gold.
But why are you crying?
He asked again. Because it can be done. What are you? Specially able or something? The differently statured man laughed and said,
Heh, dearie, you are thinking too much with the left side of your brain, you are. But you're in luck. I will show you how to perform this task. Yes, but first, you must promise to give me what I want in return.
with no alternative, Esmeralda gave her assent. To turn the straw into gold, they took it to a nearby farmers' cooperative, where it was used to thatch an old roof. With a drier home, the farmers became healthier and more productive, and they brought forth a record harvesting of wheat for local consumption. The children of the kingdom grew strong and tall, went to a cooperative school, and gradually turned the kingdom into a model democracy with no economic or sexual injustice and low infant mortality rates. For his part, the prince was captured by an angry mob and stabbed to death with pitchfork outside the palace. As new investment money poured in from all over the world, the farmers remembered Esmeralda's generous gift of straw and rewarded her with numerous chests of gold. When all this was done, the diminutive man in the funny hat laughed and said,
Heh, that is how you turn straw into gold.
then his expression became menacing.
Now that I have done my work, you must fulfill your part of the bargain. You must give me your firstborn child.
Esmeralda shot back at him. I don't have to negotiate with anyone who would interfere with my reproductive rights. The vertically challenged man was taken aback by the conviction in her voice. Deciding on a change in tactics, he said slyly,
Fair enough, dearie. I'll let you out of the bargain if you can guess what my name is.
All right, said Esmeralda. She paused for a second, tapped her chin with her finger, and said, would your name be, oh, I don't know, maybe Rumpelstiltskin?
Ah,
Shrieked the man of non standard height.
but, but how did you know?
She replied, you are still wearing your name badge from the Little People's Empowerment Seminar. Rumpelstiltskin screamed in anger and stamped his foot, at which point the earth cracked open and swallowed him up in a rush of smoke and sulfur. With her gold, Esmeralda moved to California to open a birth control clinic where she showed other women how not to be enslaved by the reproductive system and live to the end of her days as a fulfilled, dedicated single person. The end.
In this version, she knew his name, eh?
She didn't know
Oh,
his
goodness.
name. Um,
Yeah.
so what? I'm not sure how to dissect this story. Would you like to start? What got to you about this story?
Yes, dearie. But, look, what can I say? I like something I find funny immediately about this story. It was one of the first at the beginning when it's mentioned about the father that was looking for a way to get rich quick.
Which I
But
think we
then
all are
the
in
whole
this
story
era.
is about gold. But the story at the end, it's gold, gold, gold. So we're talking about gold, and now this the system. It's a bit shaken with these new digital currencies. So we'll see where this takes the new
Yeah,
financial.
absolutely. That is a very valid point because as we progress, what we call money, that is actually currency, is losing its value very rapidly. So if you think about it, it's not the price of goods and services that is going up, but it's the value of currency that is going down. And I'll just throw it in there. The best investment that you can do is gold and silver because that has been money for 5,000 years and has not lost its value, actually keeps gaining value. And that's my personal
No
recommendation.
financial advisor.
Not financial advice, but this, it's one of the things that are secure because, again, it's been money for 5,000 years and I never lost its value. So if you need help, let me know. I've got a company in Adelaide that can sort out all your precious metal wants and desires.
Hmm.
Throw,
Oh
throw
goodness.
a bit of work in there as well too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that
You
was
can see
definitely a good
that.
point.
Yeah, and then something else that is coming out. It's about the women having kids, and the decision that this Esmeralda takes, not to have kids, and um, I think it's something a bit rampant nowadays for women in Western societies to just focus on their study, their career, and then they find themselves like maybe in the late 30s or they're already 40, and then it's too late to have a family when they feeling this this desire. But I don't know much. I'm just a guy, so maybe you can share something from your experience with
Yeah,
that.
well, for sure, the society has brought us to a point where women need to work. It's been for quite a while now this way, and therefore it's really hard sometimes to have a family, and because we're focused more on making the money, so then we can stabilize ourselves before having a family. And yeah, a lot of women choose not to have kids. Me personally, I love my child. It's my greatest joy. He's my greatest teacher, and I would not change it for anything. Um, you're gonna have different points of view on this because there are people that say, "Oh, the world is already overpopulated. We don't need any more kids." I personally don't agree with that. But yes, if you're not very motherly or fatherly, you should definitely not have kids, for sure. I think we need to come at the close of this because we're almost 10 minutes. So we need to close. Lots of love, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
We keep it short and sweet.
Bye.